Which and it looks like we're good on YouTube. Let's update titles. Cool. Talk a little bit and then get started. Sorry for being so late tonight. Had a date with the wife. A good time. Yeah, long day today too. I'm making progress at work. And we're making really good progress here, so let's just jump right in. Really, all that's left are these. So, all I'm going to do is go to our in-game timer and start implementing the rising water levels. So, let's see what to consider. So, what we want is not when the timer's initialized, but when the timer's pass, we want, in fact, here, we're going to say for Spleef player in game get players. And we will say player dot send message chat color dot gold that's something I need to consider as well. So we're in here going to say private boolean final boolean, and we will say what do we want the boolean to be? We need to, so basically we need to check if it's water or lava. Okay, so we're gonna have a boolean called water, and down here we can tell what type of arena it is, water or lava, based on the game's config. So we can say file manager arena is equal to game.get config. Oh, there we go. That works. And so now we need to get the arena name, which I need to see. We set the arena in here. And that's set, I would assume, to not in-game timer. No, would it be in the waiting game timer then on the initialization? Probably. Okay, we do arenas. So we're going to say our water is equal to arena dot get string, and we're doing game dot get arena plus dot. Now what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to look up the arena is what I called it, its type. So dot type dot equals ignore case water. So then we can tell if it's water or if it's lava. And down here, I'm just going to simply say public boolean is water, then public boolean is lava, which is return not water. Just something simple like that. And so now we can say it's not a local variable. Can I import, please? The and then plus and We can also say private final string type. That would probably be good also. So type is equal to our type here. So we'd say the plus type plus level will rise in, and we'd say chat color dot green second, chat color dot gold seconds. Then, so that's good. Now, we're going to want to say it inside of the timer upcoming as well. And it's going to be red instead. Red, and the second can be white. And then here, just like we have done before, we're going to say second equals 1. Then we'll say second. Otherwise we will say seconds. Just like that. And just like that, we should have our notifications set up. So now we need to do something if the timer is actually passed. So here, we're going to want to get the arena location. And so how I'm going to do that is simply say location loc is equal to, I believe it's under the world edit creations. Yes, we did put it there. And let's clone it while we're at it. So this is going to get the arena location, and we know that it's going to be at maximum 100 by 100 by 50. Or 100 by 50 by 100 if you want to go XYZ. So we're going to say for int, I should probably make sure I'm looking at chat also. I'm not. That's my mistake. Okay, cool. So we're going to say for int x is equal to, and I also want to keep track of the locations. So int min x is equal to location.getBlockX, and we'll clone these. Say min y and z, get block z, get block y. Then int max x is equal to the minimum x plus 100, which is our maximum arena size. And then this is equal to the minimum y. Add 50, which is our maximum arena height. Max z is equal to min z plus 100, which again is our maximum arena z. So now we're going to start at the minimum x and go until the maximum x and increase x. We're going to go to from the minimum y, the maximum y, and then we're going to go from the minimum z to the maximum z. Perfect. So now we've got our new location. So we get location, new loc is equal to, right, so one thing I need to consider. Yeah, that would work. That would work. That would be kind of cool. So one thing I'm considering is obviously having the water level start, or the lava level, the water or the lava level start, and then as it comes up, let's say, let me get on the server and show real quick. So let's switch to testing. So when a game starts, it'll take a second. But when a game starts, down here, water will grow. Right? As long as nothing's blocking the bedrock, water will just grow. Okay? However, since there's something blocking the center bedrock here, no water will grow there. I don't want it to do that. However, let's say the water over here has already grown 3 blocks, okay? And someone comes down here and mines down to bedrock, like this. Well, this doesn't have any water. Well, the next time water is raised, what we can do is have it start growing water and then go up block by block. While this one, so say this one is at 1 water level, well, this one was at 3, now it's at 4. So they're at different water levels. And that's actually pretty easy to implement. It should be pretty easy to implement. And then let's say as it continues to grow, someone mines here. Well, this one starts at 1 block. And so it just grows separately like that until it begins to spill over, and basically the last one to touch water wins. But I think that would work out really well. And let's say that it keeps on growing and growing. Well, then what about accounting for right here where there's an empty spot? And let's say it's at this point. Well, wouldn't it fill here? No, I would want it to come up 1 more block and spill over. But then when it comes up again, it will fill all these blocks here. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. I will be showing you guys, essentially, but hopefully that makes sense. Okay? Let's go ahead and program it now. So we've got our new location, which is location.getWorld, and then X, Y, and Z. So now we have our location, and if okay, here's the problem. If we start from the bottom up, we're going to have an issue. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say max y, and then we're going to do greater than or equal to the minimum y, and go decrement instead. So we're going to work our way top down instead of bottom up. So what we want to check here, though, is if the new location dot get block dot get type dot is air. We need to check if it's not air, then we're just going to return. No, not return. Sorry, continue. We're going to continue. Because if it's not air, then it's not a block that can be replaced with water, or set with water, I should say. And so now, what we can do is we can say, we can check the block underneath. So location under is equal to the new location dot clone dot subtract 0, 1, 0. So now we have the next block. So now we want to say block under is equal to under dot get block. So now we say if block under dot get type dot or equals material dot bedrock, or block under dot get type is equal to the material dot water, or the block under dot get type is equal to the material dot lava. So any of those three. In fact, we're going to say not equal, and we're going to switch this to and so we can have some cleaner code. So all three of these need to be true in order for it to continue. Otherwise, we know it's bedrock, or we know the block under is water, or we know the block under is lava. And so therefore, what we're going to do is we're going to set the block above it. I also don't want to reset some blocks to water. So let's also say if the new we'll just say block here. It's equal to a new location, dot get block. So here we're going to say block dot get type. So we need to make sure it's not air. We need to make sure or the block get type equals material dot water, or the block dot get type is equal to material dot lava. So let's try to explain this thought process real quick. This is a little complicated. So we get the block at the location. If the block is, hold on. If the block is air, if the block's not air, okay, I confuse myself now. We should actually not need this. So instead of that, I'm going to say if the block's not air, then continue. Because a block needs to be air in order to set to water. And so if it's already water, we're not even going to check it. We're not even going to care. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I did it right the first time, so we're good. Perfect. So now, then we check if the block under, so the top block we know for a fact here onward is air. Perfect. Now the block underneath has to be bedrock, water, or lava. And if it isn't, then we skip. So now under here, we know for a fact that the block underneath is bedrock, water, or lava, which is perfect. I'm getting messages. 1 second. No, I am not hitting 3 hours tonight. That would put me way too late. But we're going to say if... I don't even think we need an if. Basically, now what we need to do is set the new location's block type to, if it's water, then we're going to set it to material.water. Otherwise, we'll set it to material.lava. Boom. So this should work as intended. It might be slow. Not sure. I mean, we'll find out very shortly if it's slow. But yeah, that should work really well. And if it doesn't, we'll figure it out. So let's go ahead and we have this pass, right? So I'm going to change this to every 10 seconds, and this increment's going to be 5. I don't want to have to wait that long, if I'm honest. Perfect. All right, let's give her a test. So let's go to plugins, let's drag you in, and restart the server. Switch to testing. Wait for it to start up. And again, if anyone has anything to say, feel free to type in the chat. I'm streaming because I want this to be an interactive community. I would love that. So feel free to do that. A little notice, I've been thinking about switching from Twitch to Kick. I'm not sure yet. Know your guys' thoughts on that, I suppose, but yeah. This is also on YouTube. But yeah. Alright, so we start. Alright, let's see if it grows in water. Say the null level will rise. That sounds so weird. Okay, it turned into lava, but it worked. The null level, that's so funny. I believe it's supposed to be water. Let's go ahead. Oh. I can't mine. Let's make sure it rises. Okay, it does rise. It does not become game over when I jump in. Okay, so there's a few things wrong here, obviously, that we will be needing to fix. Oh, crap. Whoops. Looks like we have something wrong again. Okay, we'll have to check. The game definitely is not started. If it is, something's wrong. Okay, let's check it out. There's always gotta be something. I mean, it's rising like a champ. It's doing great there. What does it do when it's completed? I mean, not completed. I mean, yes, completed, but not completed also. It resets the time. So one thing I really don't like doing is creating new games every single time. I don't think that's very smart to do. So I'm actually going to say private final, not in-game timer. Call the not game timer. Equals new. Actually, I'm going to set it here in the on mode. We're going to say not in-game timer is equal to new. Not in-game timer. It's going to be spleef.getGame. Delay is 40L. And I'm going to do this with all of them. We will remove start. And instead, we're going to say set timer to the not game timer. That works. Now, private waiting game timer. Private in-game timer. Private game over timer. So let's do all of them real quick. Waiting game timer. In-game timer. Game over timer. Waiting game timer. In-game timer. And game over timer. Okay. Now, let's also make sure that when we say reset, I want this to return a game timer. Let's say return this. What's wrong here? Return value never used? Yeah, that's correct. So that way I can just say dot reset like this. I think that is going to be a lot better, in my opinion. No, it's not going to be a local variable. Don't you worry one bit. So when the timer's finished, I want it to end the timer. And if the timer is there, and we're going to set it to the not in game timer and reset it. And reset should also add the delay back in. Perfect. Good, good. Then we say if the timer is an instance of a not in-game timer. And we'll just say game.setTimer to the waiting game timer dot reset. Otherwise, if the timer's instance of waiting game timer it is an instance of, and we're going to set the timer to the in-game timer dot reset. Otherwise, if the timer is an instance of the in-game timer, we're going to set the timer to the we can just say in-game timer dot reset. That's fine. In fact, we can just say or. Then we say otherwise if timer instance of a game over timer, and all we need to do is set the timer to the not a game timer dot reset. I believe this will save a lot of RAM over time. Yeah, I like that a lot more. In fact, we don't need timer.end because when we say reset, we say end. So that's perfect. Now, let's give a look. Oh god, that's sneezing. When the game's canceled, we set the timer to the not in-game timer dot reset. And we can remove this because no, we want to end the current timer even if it's not the not in-game timer. So that'll work. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that. That works well. What about the game over timer? Right, we don't ever set it. In fact, these don't. They should be set there. I mean, we can do something stupid if we want. That's fine. But where is Spleef? When do we set the game? We set it right at the beginning. Perfect. So we could, in theory, set all of those in the beginning and just say this. Just like that. I have people angry at me. Let's go. Right, it can't be final. And I'm gonna need to make them private. Okay. Yeah, private. And down at the bottom, we say public. Oops. Public. Get not in game timer. Public. Waiting game timer. Public. in-game timer, and public game over. Works wonders. Now, let's give a quick look. I believe it's in Spleef game that we have what we need, which is when we end right here. So we set the timer to a new game over timer, but I would rather say my listener dot game over time. Oh, it's so dumb. That's such an unprofessional way. Definitely doesn't follow solid principles. Let's just put it that way. But at this point, it's fine. We're nearing the end of the MVP for our plugin, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay. I'm glad we all agree. If some of you want to fork this and make it way better, feel free. But we're trying to ship something out quickly, basically. We're trying to be fast-paced-ish for the 2 hours a day I'm given, basically. But that all looks like it works great. Let's give it a run, because I know that it wasn't very happy when I landed in lava. It was also, so yeah, let's actually address those concerns. So we got in-game timer here. It was saying null because the type here is null. Most likely, because I didn't type .load. Make sure we load our stuff. But also, it is not the end of the world. Alright, fine. Just have to do it. Type. Awesome. In fact, what I can do is just private final file manager arena. And this might make it a little faster, we'll see. But that should work. And then remove arena here, and then it'll be called there. So now get arena should equal something. Don't need the boolean. And don't need the boolean again. Perfect. And don't need these. Awesome. So that should cover that issue. Next up, we should be in our My Listener checking on move. Because for some reason this isn't working. So let's take a look here. Okay, this really should be working. To be honest, I don't want any entity being damaged by entities. But especially I'd just rather not send a message and just cancel all damage, essentially. Remember, this is a Spleef dedicated server, and so I don't need to account for, oh well, this could also be SMP, this could also be kit PvP. No, this is a Spleef dedicated server. So I don't need to make sure that everything is like super flexible. It just needs to work. Okay. This should prevent damage in general. I'm gonna change this to on damage. On player take damage. We don't need the target anymore, but we do need to make sure that it is a player getting hurt. I don't really care if it's a skeleton, zombie, or slime or anything like that. So down here, we're getting the location of the player, we're getting the block, we're making sure they're in survival. We subtract 0.5 to check what's underneath. If underneath is bedrock, then we're dead. If what's above if what's above is lava, or what you're in is lava, then you're dead. If it's water, you're dead. Essentially. If you're not in a game, or a game is in wait. I think the game was stuck in wait last time, which is why nothing happened. But now we made a few changes, so it shouldn't detect as in wait anymore. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. In fact, one other thing I'm going to do to make sure there's no duplicate timers, which is honestly starting to drive me crazy, is when we set our timer, I'm going to also say this.timer.end, and I'm going to end the current timer until I set the new one. We're going to do that, alright? That should resolve any duplicate issues. Alright, let's give it a try. Let's restart the server. Make sure it boots. Ah, crud, I just realized I'm still testing. I'm programming. Sorry, guys. Let me see if I can show a little bit of what I changed. Basically, change the reset, change the public static. It made basically one flat timer. This could actually be 0L. That's fine. So can this. This can also be 0L. But yeah, and I don't want people to take damage. And I didn't do anything to on move. Yeah, okay. So I'm seeing actually that we're getting an error on end because this dot timer is null. Okay, so let's make sure that when we go into our Spleef game here, we need to make sure this dot timer is not null before calling end. It's true because the timer is null when we start up the Spleef game. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's once again make sure it runs. So sorry about that. I thought the entire time you guys were on the stream, or on the programming page. But man, that makes me feel so bad. Alright, is this going to load? Spleef loaded. It's done. No errors are being thrown. Alright. Now let's make sure I change to testing. The game has begun. Well, something's wrong there. Let's take a look really quick. So let's change to programming. And I'm gonna get out of that. That's not annoying. What you mean? We need this. So then what does reset do? It doesn't even do anything. We end. And we run. Which is exactly what it should do. So why are you throwing a hissy fit? It's saying the game has begun, which is, I believe... Yeah, the game has begun is inside of the waiting game timer. Ready? Yeah, and timer passed, the game has begun. And this, when you say the timer's passed, and it's true, we should trigger this, which should trigger in my listener. Goodness gracious, guys, this is a bit crazy. We're going crazy now. I also don't want to have to reset this every single time. I'm of the opinion that if you call set timer, it should reset it anyway. I guess I'm confusing myself because it isn't supposed to be doing this. When not in the game, current should be set equal to 0. It needs to pass the timer to do something. Let's give the changes I made a shot. Manager, plugins, replace. Restart. Let's see what in the world this does. Why is it saying that? Oh, you guys are driving me crazy. For some reason... Alright, let's walk through this logically, okay? We go into Spleef. We create a new Spleef game. What this does is it just sets up Spleef game. Nothing happens here. Alright? But what's also simultaneously happening is we are registering our events, which creates a new My Listener right here, which in turn will create our timers. These timers, by default, will begin running. They will reset. They will begin running immediately. Okay? But before that, it'll end the previous task. Next, what happens is we detect when bucket is fully loaded. When it is, we set... We can remove this. We set the timer to the not in-game timer. And so what that does is if there's a previous timer, which there isn't, it'll end it. Otherwise, it'll set the timer to the reset timer of the timer that we pass in, which is our not in-game timer. And what this will do is it'll go into not in-game and will increase by the tick amount. Now, is the tick amount correct in the not in-game? Yes, it's 20, which is 1 per second in Minecraft terms. So we run this timer, and it's increasing current by 1, and we tick. When we tick, we run timer tick, and we verify all this information here. There should be no issue. Where's it? Hold up. I'm cooking, chat. I'm cooking. Hold up. If... Now listen. If we initialize all of them at once, it's going to run all of them at once. And it's going to call them all simultaneously. Hear me out? Hear me out, chat. And because we reset this to 0 when there's no players, not in-game never runs. But waiting game does, and it cancels the event. Which would end the timer and set the timer to not in game. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. Then what I need to do is prevent the other timers from going so that one can finish. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright, what I need then is not for this to begin by default. And that should resolve every problem. Bet. Bet you this works. How much you want bet? Or it gives a different issue. At the very least. Started the server. Let's switch to testing. See my thought processing skills. That's It's what we call big brain power. It's what we call big thinkery. Like, big thinkery. I am big think. Please work. Oh. Would you look at that? Alright, different issue. It didn't teleport us. Wait, I can break blocks down. Wait, hold up. No, don't do that. Please. Okay, didn't do that. Okay, my thought process was correct. However, something else went wrong and I don't know what it is. So let's take a look at the console, because I'm sure there's something in here. String type is null. 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 Why is type null? In-game timer. Alright, let's switch to programming. In-game timer. Underneath line 49. Right here, type is null. So this is returning the null. Why? Why would you do that to me? I tell you guys, this is gonna break me, and it's gonna be hilarious. What should I do to resolve this? Because it's saying that there's no arena. Which that doesn't make sense, because there should be an arena set at this point inside of waiting game timer. Right here, game.setArena. It should be arena dot the name, a random name. And then dot type. Let's just double check really quick that it's that pattern. So arenas dot test dot type, which would return a string. Okay, so it does exist. It's exactly what we're looking for. So why aren't you working? Do I really have to call this every single time? I don't want to do that. Do it anyway. Final manager arena equals what was it? Game.get plugin.get spleef config dot load. And we'll remove it from here. Cool. And I need to fix it up a little bit. Copy. And a paste. And a paste. The problem is that it bothers me that it'll load an entire file every second. For now, I'm not going to worry about it. I just want to make sure it works. Let's get that plugin in there. Restart the server. And let's test it out. Two, one. Is there a reason you're not teleporting me? it still says the null level will rise. I should just type in that get arena. Because it's getting on my nerves a little bit. Let's do down. Let's make sure game.getArena is returning something. So, restart. So I want to make sure, because it's saying type is null. Shortly. Yeah, arenas.test. What's going on? Chat. I'm telling you right now, chat. It's not my fault. Chat. I'm telling you right now. I'm almost embarrassed to switch to programming. I'm telling you right now, it's not my fault. I'm gonna try to do it up here so that you guys have no idea what's wrong. Because it's embarrassing. Oh, whatever. I'll just explain it to you guys. So the arena, what I was doing is game.getSpleef.getSpleef plugin, because that's what was auto-loading. It is not get Spleef config. It is get arenas. Why did I do that for so long? There's no reason for me to. Well, at least I know now that I don't need to worry about that. So embarrassing. Not gonna lie. Let's also run this every time the timer's initialized. I think it'll be important to get that every time that we run the in-game timer. So, that's not embarrassing. No, not at all. I don't know what you mean. Alright, let's switch back to plugins and put the new one in and restart again. So embarrassing. Oh, we all make mistakes, so whatever. Alright. Let's see if it works this time. What do you guys think? 3, 2, 1. Boom. It doesn't teleport me, which is infuriating. It should say the correct water type. Thank you! Okay, that works. But it's... I don't know why it's not teleporting me anymore. So... we're going to need to figure that out really quick. Nice. It looks like that. Oops. I didn't do that. But yeah, it does look like that portion works. It's almost like it's not triggering. it's saying create a arena. It says create arena. It says create arena. Please wait. Which, is that something I say here? It is something I say here. We set the pickaxe, we do all that, which is good. Right. Okay. I think I know the problem to this. So the problem is, well, first I want to remove this default initialized because it's not functioning the way that we changed it to. So we need to make sure that it does. Game over timer needs to get rid of it as well. So going into super, we're going to remove default initialized. So the problem is that we're not calling timer initialized anymore. When we reset, however, this is the perfect time to call timer initialized. Do I want to end and then set current to 0? Yeah, that might be smarter. Yes. So let's give that a shot. Yeah, we're at the big boy troubleshooting now. Like, this is the stuff that'll break the entire game. So we need to make sure that this works properly. So let's restart the server. I don't know. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Like, this is a fun journey for. It's a lot of work, but it's a fun journey for me. First, let's pay attention here. Make sure that this works. Yes. And I can dig. Awesome. Water level will rise. Should be water this time. Yes! Alright, let's go down to the bedrock layer and see what's gonna happen. Yes! Awesome! And this should be 2 blocks high. Which it looks like it is. Now it's 3 blocks high, but yeah, you guys get the point. So now it's at the same level as me. And then it should be starting to flood in. Just like that. And now... Ah! Awkward. And now it's starting to flood there. So hopefully that all makes sense. And then it starts to come up again. But over out here... it's coming up even more. But if I were to go down to here, bedrock, it'll start back over. Until finally, the whole place is filled with water, and there's nothing you can do, and we're all doomed. Like the next time that this goes up. So now it'll go up one more time. And boom. And it'll just keep on going up. Until finally, you touch the water, which means you die. Yay! I think we finally have a fully functioning game. Never mind. The game's over, but it's not doing anything. So I'm going to need to look at that really quick. Okay, there's no errors there. Alright, let's take a look as to why game over isn't doing anything really quick. So we got the message, the game is over, okay. So we're gonna want to do set. We're gonna want to do set timer to my listener dot get game over timer. And we can remove timer.end because that's called in here. And then we reset the timer here. So that should work now. So let's give that a shot. This is so exciting. We're really close to done. I'm excited to play this with some friends, have some fun, do some beta testing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know Matt wants to participate in that. Probably my wife, my cousin. A 4-player match sounds interesting. We'll see how it goes. I have no idea. But let's go ahead and get on. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Arena. Interesting that doesn't clear. And it should be creating us water. Boom, there's water. And notice how it doesn't go on the barrier blocks. It doesn't replace any of these. And if I just stay here, I don't think I'll die until I move. Yeah. I can do something like a tick generation, but it looks like it teleported me back to the lobby. And it's starting a new game. I can't break again. I can fall and touch until the game starts. And now it'll start a new game, and we have our game loop! It works! It works, guys! Yes! We did it! Wait, what? Hold up a second. Maybe that's a flip. Oh yeah! Oh yeah, clutch. I'm clutch. Help, help, help! It's coming up! Ah! I dug too fast. Curious. That wasn't supposed to do that. Okay, good. I can't break the blocks. Okay, now I can. Perfect. Yes, that's what I want. Ah, shucks. I didn't clutch it that time. But yeah, so we can see I've tested this a bunch of times by now. And it looks like it is working flawlessly. Let's have a little bit of fun, see what we can do here. The water is creeping. Then it starts to rise some more. In fact, I might be safe down here. I am safe down here. That's interesting. Ooh! Oh, that scared me. Yeah, see, if I don't mind anything, then I'll be safe! No! Anyway. Yeah, it looks like it works really well. Alright, that's enough. And if I start again... Perfect. Oh, sounds like my wife's home. So, I think I'm going to end it there for today. Let's go back into... I came back late tonight, so sorry about that, but... Fixed bugs revolving around the game timer and added rising water / lava levels. So guys, there's really only one more aspect we need to add for MVP, which is permissions. And then it's time to test. I'm gonna see who I can drag on for that through streaming, and it sounds like a really fun thing to do, fun thing to have. So I'm kind of excited to do it. But yeah, let me come in and push this. And anyway, push and push. All right, we're all good. So thank you for those who tuned in tonight. If you're on YouTube, you can always leave a comment, start some kind of conversation going on. Leave a like, a subscribe. If you're on Twitch, you can leave a follow. It doesn't matter to me. I'm having a ton of fun doing this. I'm hoping that you guys are having a ton of fun watching. But